that daily cup of coffee you're holding. It's way more than just your morning ritual. It's actually a direct line to a pretty volatile global market.
Absolutely. It's fascinating stuff.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into that world, the sometimes turbulent world of coffee. We'll look at current price trends, what's happening with supply and demand behind the scenes, and maybe some emerging opportunities.
Right.
Our mission, really, is to unpack the key insights from our source here, ZoneCafeFM's coffee market trends, and figure out what these market shifts actually mean for you. Let's get into it.
Okay.
So let's start with the prices right now, say August 11th, 2025. What are we seeing?
Well, okay, the picture's a little mixed, but mostly pointing upwards. You've got Robusta in London, the September futures. They ticked up slightly, about $49 a ton, landing at 3,610 USD.
Okay, a small jump there.
Yeah. But then Arabica over in New York, September futures dipped just a tiny bit, like 1.35 cents down to 308 cents a pound.
A slight decrease for Arabica.
But then look at Vietnam. Domestic prices there, they actually saw a decent bump, up 500 to 800 VND, hitting around 105,000 VND per kilo.
Wow. Okay, so different directions. What's the story behind these movements? What's driving all this?
It really boils down to a few key things piling up. First off, deliveries from Brazil are slow, like really slow. Their July exports were down 20% compared to last year.
20%, that's substantial.
It is. And Brazilian farmers, they're smart. They're holding on to their harvested beans, waiting, hoping for better prices down the line.
Playing the market. Makes sense.
Exactly. Then layer on top of that these worries about potential U.S. tariffs on, various goods, which could include coffee indirectly or directly impact trade flows.
The tariff factor. How's that playing out?
Well, it's making roasters nervous. So nervous, in fact, that they're buying contracts way out into the future. We're talking locking in prices for like 2027 delivery.
2027. They're planning that far ahead.
Yeah, trying to hedge against that uncertainty. And one more thing. Those certified Arabica stockpiles, they've been dropping for 9 straight days as of that report, hitting their lowest point in over a year.
So less readily available Arabica, slow Brazilian exports, farmers holding back, and roasters buying futures. It sounds like a perfect storm for higher prices.
That's pretty much it. A real squeeze on the supply side, pushing prices up.
Okay, so Brazil's situation is key. But what about other big players? I heard Colombia is making waves.
Ah, yes, Colombia. That's the counterpoint, really. They're having a fantastic recovery. Their July production hit 1.37 million bags.
Wow. How does that compare?
It's up 19% from last year, and actually it's their best July production in 10 years. Pretty impressive.
Especially after some rough months, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they have weather issues?
They did. Heavy rains delayed the harvest for 3 months straight, so this rebound is significant. They're forecasting about 7.1 million bags for the second half of the year.
So more high-quality Colombian Arabica coming online. Does that balance out the Brazil situation?
It helps, definitely. It provides some much-needed supply of that good, wet-processed Arabica. But even with that, the Brazilian slowdown and those U.S. tax worries are still keeping upward pressure on the market overall. It's not quite enough to totally offset things.
So it's still this push-pull. Brazil's slow exports and farmer strategy remain a really big deal, even with Colombia stepping up.
Precisely. You can't underestimate Brazil's influence. Tomas Araujo over at StoneX he said this mix of farmer caution and roaster buying due to the tax fears basically stopped the market from falling further and kept this upward trend going.
It shows how interconnected everything is. Fascinating. Okay, let's switch gears to demand. What about us, the consumers? Especially here in the U.S., prices are creeping up in cafes. Are people cutting back?
Well, this is where it gets interesting for your wallet. People are reacting, but maybe not how you'd expect. They're not necessarily drinking less coffee.
Oh, so what are they doing?
They're switching, getting savvier, moving to more affordable options. The data suggests shifting from, say, Dunkin' to Burger King for your daily coffee could save you something like $1,200 a year.
Wow, that's a lot.
Or even a smaller shift, like from Starbucks maybe down to Taco Bell's coffee, that could still save you over $400 annually.
So people are finding workarounds.
Exactly. And the key takeaway here is that overall coffee demand seems pretty stable. People still want their coffee. They're just adjusting which coffee they buy. They're moving between segments rather than giving it up. Shows how much we love our coffee, right?
It really does. So demand is resilient, just shifting. Okay, looking forward then, what's the strategic outlook, say for Vietnamese farmers or traders?
Right. For Vietnam, that 105,000 VND/kg price point we mentioned, that could well be the benchmark for August. But looking longer term, if these US-Brazil trade tensions stick around, we could see prices climb towards maybe 140,000 VND by 2026.
So for farmers, what's the play?
It's a careful game. Holding stock, like the Brazilians are doing, and picking the absolute right moment to sell what they sometimes call bunging. Not too early, not too late.
And for traders, roasters.
For them, it's about watching those technical charts really closely, identifying support levels to lock in those future contracts strategically without overpaying if the market suddenly shifts.
Okay, so try to bring this all together. If you're listening and trying to make sense of this complex brew, what's the bottom line?
The bottom line is that current price bumps aren't about just one thing. It's this whole mix. Brazil's slow exports, shrinking inventories, that busy futures market, and crucially, demand that just won't quit.
Even with higher prices.
Right. Consumers are proving incredibly resilient, just finding those cheaper fixes. So the big reveal isn't falling demand, it's shifting demand. The real opportunity, whether you're growing beans, trading them, or just drinking your daily cup, is understanding the timing, knowing when to make your move.
What a journey. From Brazilian fields to potential tariffs to your local cafe switching options, it's clear the coffee market is this incredibly complex dance, always adapting.
Always moving.
So, as these huge global forces keep reshaping the coffee world, maybe the question for you to ponder is, how will you adapt? Whether it's your buying habits or your business strategy, how do you ride the next wave of change in coffee?